Okay, so let's see that I can't do anything else weird here. Because I can still do that. So really it's like I need to lock that to where I can't do that. Yeah. So like I said, if I can strain it too much, like for example, it's like, well, this needs to be that, and that needs to be that, and this needs to be that. And then it's like, there's so few things I can do that then it becomes kind of trivial. If I just make those like that, then it can be done that way. So really the thing I have to force is that like this and this need to be different, right? So I don't think it can be done any other way. No, I could do it that way. Hey, that's good. The delay was slightly less. Slightly less delay. It looks like the only way I can do it is like lock that and that. Oh, I can do that. Curses! So if I lock that and that, then what? Then it's that. Well, that won't work. Yeah. So, like, that needs to be locked on, right? Yeah, I don't know whether that's good. I don't know whether that's good. What if I don't disable these tiles, then what's going on? Yeah, so I need to have some disabled tiles there. If I disable these ones too. I don't really have any magical ideas about this to make it better than that, so I think I'm just gonna go with that for that one, and then I'm gonna try something pretty different. Okay, so let's try something different. Let's just clear that all out. Clear it all. So I still haven't done any really that used the colors, because that's like another thing. I don't know whether it actually will be good, but essentially the way the colors work is like they have to be connected to the other color. So One way they could work is like that, to where they can overlap. They don't work that way right now, but I could do it that way. That might be more interesting. Yeah, it might be more interesting to have an overlap, because otherwise it's just kind of prescriptive, it feels like. The overlap, though, here's the problem with this mechanic, and I don't know who has or hasn't played The Witness, but like this is basically the same as the mechanic in the treetops of The Witness, which is like the little stars thing. Which I knew when I started doing it, but I worry about whether or not it's actually interesting enough. That's like whether it's distinctive and different enough than that. I guess I shouldn't lean in so far, because then I'm really low on the webcam. I think I can get that to go a little lower, though. Maybe that's too low, but yeah. Yeah, it kind of does seem okay, though, if it's like not the same. That's literally like one line of code to change that, I think. Let's see. That would be in these. Let's see, right now I do if it's okay. Yeah. It's just really that. That's literally the only difference. Yeah, so now they can all be in the same area. It just means that then I have to, like, I don't know. We'll see. It could be more interesting. It could be less interesting. So I kind of have to have more than enough of all of them before it starts to become interesting, I would feel like. So otherwise it's just like, oh, that doesn't work because I connected the reds. Yeah. I don't think it'll be harder to teach the player, really. Like, a lot of times, the hardest thing to figure out is how to teach the player. Like, frankly, I have this other mechanic up here. Where is it? These guys that I've basically abandoned for the moment because I have no idea how to teach the player it. And the only thing I can come up with is that I need to have a simpler version of the mechanic that doesn't have as many permutations. So it can be hard to figure out how to teach the player sometimes, but I'm not too worried about that. Frankly, I do think probably the overlap works better. It also leads into another idea, which these are the natural things that come when you think about these colored things or whatever, is all the stuff that The Witness did, and that's kind of like annoying to feel that way, to feel like there's that much overlap between the games. But like the obvious thing to do there is, like, if I have another symbol that's black and a black thing, that it cares about the color of that thing as well. So then it's like, well, that can only be in an area with 6 because it's black and it needs to be in a highlight area, and then this is black and that's black, so I can't have another black symbol in there. Like, it's the natural thing that comes out of that, but it's what that other game did. Anyway, I wanted to try more ones that just have the one color dot, though, to begin with, and without even getting into the, like, combining it with other things, right? But I don't think it'll be that hard to teach the player. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will be, but... Disabled tiles. I already did some, like, disabled ones, though. It's like why I have thought about coming up with something to just generate puzzles randomly, so I can be like, here's a random solvable puzzle that's been verified by a computer using brute force that is solvable. Let's see. I think that makes that even around the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can't have one in the middle. Let's draw the swastikas. That's what I'm... You must draw the swastika to win. Yeah. It's not really that interesting. I don't think I can do it this way either. Because those... Yeah, it's too many. It's too many. Like, that's doable, but then that's very easy. Okay, okay. So what other ways is that doable? I don't know that there's any other ways that that's actually doable. There's probably some hideous way. Huh. Hey, I'm glad the delay is better. If it makes you happy. This one seems actually like, maybe from first principles, it's a bit harder to solve. Okay. I'm gonna save that one at least, because it's like Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Let's see. Now if I don't disable these, is this any different is the question. I mean, obviously I should be able to still do it the same way, but my question would be, what are the other ways that it can be done? So that doesn't work because this in the center. Might be the harder one to do. To just not have the hint, because it's like... Huh. It's pretty tricky, but I'm not like super stoked about it or anything. It feels kind of, I don't know, it's better than this one, but it feels like it's actually hard to reason about it. And like most of what I'm doing in solving it is just kind of guessing. Whereas if I made this to be like different colors, then that, well, that wouldn't work then, would it? And those wouldn't work because they'd be separated. I don't know. Like, we'll leave that like it was. So that has to be done that way. Or vice versa, I guess. It's okay. Let's try something different. Oop, my music has died. Start that over. So, like I said, I don't think there's any other solutions other than the inverse of that. Like that or that. Now if I do this, how does that work? Because then I can't do that. Because then there's not enough in the areas. I can do that, that, that. That doesn't help me. Let's see if I do that. Separate that and that. I wonder if this is even possible. I feel like it's got to be possible in some way. That's the real hard part, is like separating everything out. I can pretty easily separate that into two, that into two, that into two, and that into two. But then this middle one I can't really separate because it connects if I do. That doesn't work. It's not enough. Hey, it's possible. Ugh, it was very tricky, but it was possible. It's also got like a really hideous looking weird solution. I'm always interested in ones like that, even though sometimes I'm like, it doesn't really look nice. And if the solution looks weird and gross, I'm sometimes kind of feel like not great about it. So I want to look at like at like what can and can't be the same as the way I did it on here. Let me see if this can be done another way. So I kind of wonder. It can be. So that's interesting. Because I liked that one the best. And that creates like a possibility to do a forcing function on it. To make different different panels. You're gonna have to explain to me, Mokismo, which panel you were referring to. We're talking about this one? Three long lines along the perimeter. Okay. Well, I can't do that because that connects like those, so I'm not sure what you mean. Three tile long lines. Okay. Okay, so you mean, yeah, I see. Like this is what you meant. Okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. That is a nicer solution than this one, definitely. Because this one's pretty hideous. Yeah, it is rotationally symmetrical. Which I don't have any puzzles in the game that like force symmetry yet. Well, I shouldn't say yet. I should say I used to, but they need to be redesigned. And it's like one way I could do it is like where it's just forced from a standpoint of if I toggle that, it also toggles that, you know. If I toggle this, it also toggles that. And then make you solve puzzles that way. So I guess really to force that one, I just need to lock these guys. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong panel. I just need to lock these guys to force that. Don't know if it forces it by breaking the corners. Let me try breaking the corners. See, I'll have to do it inversed though. Let's see, that's not right. I could break the corners and light them, I guess. I think maybe that's too much though, because it just feels like it's the only thing I can do then. This is why I need to implement the brute force solver thing. So I can just click a button over here and be like, is it solvable? Like find a solution, and then it just gives me a solution, right? Just so when I'm messing with something. I just want to know, is that solvable or is it not, right? It would be nice. So I think that's enough to force it. Just doing the diagonals. Okay. Well, I'm always excited and happy when people join in the like, excuse me, in the puzzle designing process and come up with cool solutions and stuff, because like that's a big part of why I like enjoy doing this, is because you just come up with these kind of not necessarily obvious solutions to stuff, you know? So I'm not sure that forces it. I do know the other one forces it, so I should probably make one that's forced that way, just so I know, even when I come back to it later, even if I've done some other puzzle designing, because a lot of times that's the problem, is just like, how do I, when I come back to this later, know what was the good ones. Okay, so this one I had this deal, right? Or I wanted to force that, was what I was saying. I wanted to make a panel that forced that, and a panel that forced this. So I guess I need to see what's the main difference between those two. Oops. On this one, they're all on. Well, there's not really a big difference, actually. Other than the corners, I guess. But no, the corners are all the same. These aren't all the same, though. Well, yeah, they are. Like this and this and this and this are all the same on this solution as well. So what's the difference? I'm trying to see what the obvious difference is. I guess I should do this solution so I can see. So the obvious difference here, it seems like, is these guys are locked all the same or not. Accidental swastikas. Yeah, there's always accidental swastika. So I was saying, it's like you must draw the swastika to solve the puzzles. That's it's very important to me in all puzzles in the game that you draw swastikas. That is not opening on there, so let me pull it from here. Okay, let's see. So I'm just gonna real quickly do this at least, so that I have the solution as the starting solution. Just so I know these solutions. But I do always like doing puzzles where it's like, there's a puzzle that I was like, oh wow, I figured out a solution for it, and that was kind of tricky. And then I figure out like another solution that's also cool looking. Okay, so this is for the one on the left, I believe. And it doesn't contain an accidental swastika, so this was for 4 broken tiles. Now these actually should be starting state lit, I believe. Okay, yeah. Or unlit's fine. Either way, they just need to be forced. So you're saying that this and this, wait, and this does it. It does not do it, actually, because this corner here only has one dot in it. But it does actually create a potential solution to add more dots. Accidental swastikas are happening. But yeah, it does actually mean that I can do an even harder version of it. Okay, so now I'm going to try to solve this naturally. Can't be done that way. Let me try just unlocking the corners and seeing whether I can solve it. Okay, so if I unlock the corners, I can do a weird wonky solution. If I lock the corners... Oops. If I lock the corners, I can't. Okay. Well, I appreciate the extent of building a puzzle script thing to draw the levels out. That's flattering to me. If you find it that interesting. I mean, I guess I find it interesting enough because I've spent like, at this point, a year on this game, so yeah, so this kind of makes a sequence of some kind that would start with these ones over here, I feel like, which were kind of easiest ones, and then progress to like this one, which was harder. And then to this one that's like the hardest of all. So it's so hard I still can't even figure it out. Let's see. God damn it. See, I know that guy and that guy needed to be in an area by themselves. I don't know what a SAT solver is. But there's, like, making a thing to count all the solutions and figure out whether it's solvable is pretty trivial, because I already have a thing that figures out whether or not it's solved. So all I have to do is just enumerate every single possible thing that I can toggle and test that state, whether it's solvable, right? Like, that's all I have to do is just run through and test everything that you could set the board to. And if any of them come back as solved, then it's solvable, right? So, you know, and I can see how many solutions it had or whatever. If I wanted to do that, I just haven't done it because, I don't know, like, it's kind of interesting to do it this way, just because this is more like what the player would do, right? The player trusts me as a designer that if I put a puzzle in the game that they can solve it, right? But if I'm sitting here and going like, oh, I don't see how I can solve this, even though I was just looking at the solution like a minute ago, it's easier for me to see like, okay, what's going on in my brain to try to solve this, and see like, what is that interesting? Is that an enjoyable thing to do? Is that the experience that I want the player to have when they're like trying to figure out puzzles? Yeah, like there's not that many possibilities, and frankly, I mean, I can enumerate all of them and just let me look at all of them if I wanted to, but I can also just have something that runs through, and the first one it finds, it just tells me it's solvable. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think the other one, they were on, weren't they? They were locked on? They were locked off. Okay, well. Oh, that didn't work. No, that doesn't work. If I could turn that on, then I could do something like this. Well, no, that wouldn't work because that's in there. God damn it. Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought about. Like there's, for some reason, psychologically, it's easier to think about it when they're on, because then you're like, okay, I connect that to that. Even though like a dark area is connected to, right, as an area, it's just, it feels like an absence of color rather than a separate color. That's how that other one was done. But I can't do that here. This is really hard. This one's really hard. But yeah, it is funny that sometimes they're easier. Like I have specifically a puzzle over here. Which one was it here? This one, like this one specifically, because it's much harder than if these were locked on. Like if these are locked on, then you're like, oh, I should just like light that up and then light that up, or that one up, right? But because they're off, you tend to think about, like, especially if the board starts all the way off. If it starts all the way on, then that's different. Like if it starts like this, then you'd be like, okay, maybe I need to connect that, and maybe I need to connect, oh, I can't do that. So then it becomes less obvious to like connect that way, versus if it's, anyway, it's weird. It's just psychologically like whatever the norm is. So like if I made the whole board start on and then make those start off, then it's different too, right? Because then you think, okay, what do I connect to? It's not connected to that. I know that's connected to that, and that's connected to that because I remember it. So then at this point, there's only so many things I can do. I can connect that and that. There we go, that was it. Whew. Yeah, that one's tricky. It might be too tricky, but I like it. I kind of like it. Like, that's pretty good. Yeah. We'll just start them on like that, just because it was a little easier when they were that way. But yeah, that's good. Yeah, something I was just thinking about though with regards to people on the stream helping me design puzzles and all that, like, I don't know. I'm thinking about in terms of crediting people for the game that I want to credit as having helped me. The other thing I was thinking about was, at one point I took down like people who wanted to test the game, and I got too many people. I got like more people than I wanted to have test at that time. So I had a list, and now I don't know where that list is. This list has mysteriously disappeared, so I'm gonna have to make another list of people to test the game. That'll be a little while though, because like I want to finish the area that uses these guys, these dot puzzles first, and then I have another area that I started last week. Which I want to finish. That area is not getting spoiled on the stream. And I might want to refine some of the other areas, but yeah. Okay, so that is cool. So what do we need? Okay, we need to go back to these guys and figure out how this is going to work as far as forcing something. It's like, this is really easy, I feel like. So maybe I just need to lock those 4 off. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's really all I need to do. I don't like not having them, but it feels like locking them maybe is better. Because that solves that. And then for the other one, it can just be a matter of they're locked too, but the starting state is like this instead. So one's starting state is flat, and one's like that. I don't know, does that seem reasonable? Does that seem good? And then like that won't work because now they're That doesn't work because those are off. So now I gotta try to remember what the hell it was that I solved this one. It's definitely harder. Like the horizontal and vertical symmetry ones tend to be easier to solve than ones that are like rotationally symmetric in some way. It's definitely got to be like that. Yeah, I think those work. And then I'll just take this guy here that's Mr. Freedom and delete it, because that more or less makes this sequence of puzzles. Because it would just be like 4 puzzles that go through like that. At least I feel like that's right. Like this is easiest to hardest gradually, and then this is the hardest one. What the hell was this one again? Let me just look it up. Yeah, it's a really unorthodox way to connect those. Wait, is that wrong? Oh, it's the opposite of that. God darn it. Like I like it just because like like every time I'm like, I know it's like a weird thing it connects through. I like it better the other way. I like it better where it's like dark to begin with. Maybe I'll just like do it this way to begin with, because that like works better for me. I don't generally use the starting state as like a hint though. Because like you can't reset the panels to their starting state, so I usually just don't use it in any particular way. Anyway, that I'm happy with those. That's 4 good puzzles. It's not too bad for a couple hours. Did I come up with any other puzzles I liked? These were almost interesting, but not quite this level of interesting. I really need to try to get some more that are like this level though, which is like simpler but still interesting. The only thing I really got out of those though was like is that it's harder to do when you have to think about the dark spaces instead of the light spaces. Like that's kind of interesting, but it's not a depth of the mechanic type thing. I forget what these guys down here are though. I guess I should look. I think these are all pretty basic if I recall correctly. Maybe not so much. Because I think this is like something like... Yeah. Yeah, you have to like inverse across there to get the So that one's not bad. That's actually a pretty good one. Let's see, I don't know what I'm doing here, though. I feel like this has got to be similar. Yeah. I don't like that one as much. This one's pretty good, though. So that's always difficult, too, is like when you get one that's kind of interesting, but not really, because it's like a weird, wonky looking solution. You can also do it that way. What about this one? I can't do that way. That needs to be done that way. This one can be just done this way, though. So the fact that you can checkerboard it's a little interesting. I'm just not sure how I prevent the weird wonky one here. Because that's still white, white, black, 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 white, white on those. So I can't prevent it that way. I guess I'd have to prevent it like by locking those to off, I suppose. Well, no, that doesn't work either. But I like that it's doable that way. I'm just not sure what to do. Puzzle-wise. Well, thanks for confirming. I don't know if you did that manually or if you did that using some crazy thing that you just constructed to to validate all solutions for the thing. But it seemed like it didn't have any others. It makes me think of there's this one puzzle in okay, so this one puzzle in The Witness that's like I guess this is spoilers for a puzzle in The Witness, but there's a puzzle where you have to like solve a puzzle and then some stairs come down, and the solution to the puzzle is like you draw stairs, right? Like that's the solution. But I was looking up, I'm not sure why, but I was looking up some guide to the game. This is after I'd done everything in the game, not to like solve the puzzle or whatever. And I noticed that they had like, here's the solution to that puzzle, and it's and it was like a weird wonky thing. Anyway, I'm done with spoilers now. So but yeah, it's just like anyway, point being, like, sometimes you get these weird wonky solutions that you weren't aware of as a designer, and like you kind of intended this to be the only solution, and it turned out that there was another weird one. So again, that might be a reason to come up with the like solution finder thing, so I can see like, Oh, there was another solution to this. Okay. Can I design around that? Should I design around that? Or what? Because people will find some weird solutions to puzzles sometimes. Alright. So I wanted to force this guy. And I think the way to do it is this. But I'm not sure. Not sure. Like, obviously that works. But, okay, so I can't... because the problem is if I didn't lock these, you have something like this, you can really easily just solve it that way. Or that way, right? So I have to kind of lock to where they can't be done that way. So now I need to see whether there's like a weird solution here. No, there's not a weird solution, but there's a very easy solution that doesn't involve the checkerboarding. So checkerboarding, I think, is going to need this. Because I can't do this. Well, I guess I can do that. Damn it. Curses. I don't know, let me try other things. Okay, so that works. Those all work with just the minimal solution. Maybe that's okay, but I liked the checkerboard. I liked the checkerboarding. If you like any of what I'm doing here, if this seems interesting, then yeah, you should probably get The Witness, because I think it's a cool game. It's definitely, well, I would say it's probably my favorite game that I've ever played. Yeah. If you gotta pick between The Witness and Braid, I think The Witness is better. But, you know, that's down to personal preference, because I can imagine somebody who liked Braid that maybe wouldn't like The Witness, because they didn't like the nature of the puzzles in The Witness. But I think that The Witness is like a way better designed game, and yeah, the depth and subtlety that the game gets out of what seems like a really boring premise is pretty astonishing. And it's kind of like, as you go through that game, it just continues to blow your mind, like what it can do with that. So I wouldn't like. I don't think that there's a game that I would recommend more than The Witness. So I don't know if it's still part of that Humble Bundle right now. That right now I think you can still pick it up. Yeah, you can still pick it up as part of this, which is like at a discount. Plus, you get a bunch of other games if you haven't played any of these games. So that would be a really great way to pick up The Witness. Yeah. It might be on discount somewhere else anyway right now, because I think I saw that it was on discount. Yeah, it's 50% off right now on GOG, so that's another place you could get it. I don't know what it is on Steam right now, but maybe it's on discount there too. Let's see. Nope. So this would be your cheapest way to get the game right now. It'd be $20 on GOG. Or you can get it for $30 here, and you get other stuff. So that's cool. Like if you haven't played basically any of these other games, like these are a lot of good games. So So that's a good deal too. Oh, well, yeah. I'd say that it's fair to worry whether you have enough time to complete the witness. Um, but I also would say, like, the witness is really, like, the witness is a game that you can come back to, right? Like, that's what's really great about it, is even if you don't have all the time in the world and you're just like, well, maybe I can play a couple hours a week or something, right? It's a really great game to be able to come back to, and just, you know, make a little bit more progress on, or whatever. And, you know, to me, it came out at a time where I was, like, unemployed, so it hit me at just the right time where I could just spend all day, every day playing it, which is also a great way to play it. But I don't know that everybody would want to do that, because you know, it just depends on, like, how stymied you are on the particular puzzles that you're at in the game. But part of what's, like, so cool about the witness is just that it's open, and so if you get stuck over here, then there's a whole bunch of other areas that you could go to in the game, and you could try to make progress there with different kinds of puzzles. And even though they are different puzzles here and then over there, because there's such a consistency to the design of the game, you end up being able to take kind of what you learn over here and apply that over here, even though they're, like, different puzzles, right? You can do this way, cheapo way. Can't you? Oh, no, I can't, because that's separated. Anyway. This has been fun, designing puzzles. I would love to continue doing this further, but unfortunately I have to go off to my day job because this does not make very much money for me to do this. However, and I don't often do the pimping of the Patreons. Oh, I know. I should pay Ben Prunty for his music. I don't often do the pimping of the Patreons, but I do have a Patreon where, if you want to support me doing this kind of stuff, then you can do that. I get a little bit of money on there, but not a whole lot. I really appreciate what I do get, but it's not enough to live on. And you also get, like, exclusive stuff on there. This past month, there's a little bit of, like, witness analysis that I did. I've been working on this witness video essay, although the past few weeks I haven't been, because I've decided to start working on this game again, because I hit, like, a real kind of stumper point in working on this video essay. I also have some, like, analysis of other games. I played through Banjo-Kazooie. I did do a Braid analysis, which is public now, but was exclusive to backers. So, anyway, there is lots of cool stuff there. So I'd go there and check that out if you are interested in what I'm doing and want to keep up with that or support it. The other thing I'd say is there is a blog, which apparently I need to add a mailing list of some kind, because apparently in this day and age that's still what people want. What's this? Another puzzle. Okay, well, I'll take down this puzzle real quick, because Moxmo has these good ideas for puzzles. Now, what is this? Is this, you think, a good puzzle, or do you think that this is just, like, an alternate solution to the one that I was doing? Because I know that one had some weird solutions that I actually didn't like very much. My concern with it was primarily about getting rid of the solutions. Oh, okay. Alright, then I won't worry about it. That's fine. Yeah, that one puzzle had some weird degenerative solutions that I didn't like. Anyway, did I post that link in the chat to the blog? Okay, so I have a blog. Apparently I should add a mailing list here, and let people sign up for that, because I guess people can't necessarily follow the blog or don't have Twitter. But there's a blog there. I need to put a link on there to my Twitter. Maybe I do have one here. No, this is like not. This is ads for WordPress. Anyway, I'll need to put a link to my Twitter, but my Twitter is just the same as it's just the same as my Twitch ID. Anyway, so follow me on there, and thanks for watching. It means a lot to me, and I will see you all probably tomorrow. I can't really guarantee from day to day when I stream, but I've been streaming most days except yesterday. So hopefully you're having a good day, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all around on the internets. Bye.